what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Visual Effects Artists React. We are looking at some cool stuff today. If you saw Dune, well, the director of that movie made an incredible movie called Arrival. It's a really fun one, but there's a lot of really cool invisible effects in this movie that I really want to take a look at.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the alien spaceship is probably digital.
My nephew Grayson has submitted his latest Blender animation, and, well, it bears a striking resemblance to a movie you may have seen.
Wow.
Train energy.
This is so ridiculous. The most extreme meteors and the prism that Disney holds that has the secret to visual effects and the soul of Walt Disney inside.
There's a lot to talk about and unpack from this stuff. You know, you're gonna really enjoy this. Thanks for watching. In some of the previous episodes here, we've been looking at the 14-year-old Blender animators, okay? Each time I watch them, like, I always think about just how talented they are, despite, you know, some of the visual shortcomings you might see in these. This next clip here not only resembles those clips, but also really shows you there's a real future in doing those train videos. Let me show you this.
There's a future in train videos, okay.
Whoa.
This looks like a previs for a movie.
Yeah. Oh, heck yeah.
Wait, did he just steer that ball?
Look at this.
Seriously,
Oh, wait,
this is a Fast and the Furious.
This is Fast and the Furious.
Previs.
This is Fast and the Furious previs.
Yeah, we're watching something people are spending millions of dollars on right now.
You tricked us. I thought I was watching a 14-year-old fan film. Just really well animated.
Yeah, this is previs for a multi-million-dollar franchise.
Wow.
Look at that, there it is. You know, you look at the faces in this train video and then you watch these faces, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, this is like very much the same skill set.
It's funny though, because it's like, it looks janky, but it's also very much so not janky.
Yeah.
The animation is actually really detailed. There's dynamics going on. There's a full suspension on that car. There's like stuff shattering. There's smoke elements in here. There's a whole crowd simulation. People are running around and reacting. Like, there's so much going on here that is being conveyed through the previs here.
Yeah.
Like there's
a lot going on here.
There's a bunch of polish in the cinematography, the editing, the pacing. Like, animation's not easy to do, regardless of if you render it with your, you know, RTX on or RTX off. Like,
but also the cinematography and like the shot selection, the choices going into this are very advanced.
I would be very curious to see what the final sequence looks like in comparison.
Well, let's watch it.
Whoa.
it's on fire. There it is.
All these, I mean, about half the shots in the sequence are in the previs.
Okay, but it's less like the previs than I expected.
It's slower.
Yeah, they're really
sure.
taking their time going down these stairs.
But that shot's in the previs.
Yep. Oh, he knocks it past the lady and the dogs. Oh, they had that insert shot. They don't have
Yeah, there's
that.
more insert shots in this than the previs.
You can really get a sense of like where the editors and the directors and like feedback is coming into play, where someone's like, oh, I need this beat, I can't read this, I need to see this.
The previs version is just like boom, bang, boom, and this one is like tons of dialogue and like reaction shots and insert shots.
The previs seems like it's good for getting everybody on the same page.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we want kind of that. We want that kind of crazy energy. It's like, okay, let's go for it.
Because of the rendering quality, it's so far removed from the Fast and Furious movies. And it brought me some like joy to watch this like really low quality, janky version of this expensive action set piece.
Landon's cinematography and like action design is not that far off from like Fast and the Furious's action
It really
design.
isn't. It really
it's
isn't.
really pretty close.
As you know, we mostly work with a bunch of dudes around here, and it has been a very hot summer, so the must has been kicking this year. Luckily, we've been armed with 3 beautiful smelling colognes by today's sponsor, Scentbird. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription service that allows you to try a new designer fragrance, or more than one, each month for just $17. We have Vince Camuto's Home, we have the Handsome Devil's Grooming Lounge, and we have Joseph Aboud's Modern Gentleman. With Scentbird, you can sign up and receive up to 3 travel scents monthly. Comes in a nice travel case that you can pop in your pocket. You just unlock, spritz. It's got hints of artemisia, birch, cedarwood, cypress, and fennel. Now that we have all these, I'm gonna go spice up the studio and solve this must problem. With Scentbird, there are over 600 designer brands to choose from designers like Prada, Gucci, Versace, to niche brands like Parfums de Marly and Confessions of a Rebel, and many more.
It smells really good. What was that?
With each fragrance, you get a 30-day supply, so you can try new fragrances before committing to the full-size bottle.
Yo, can I get some of that?
This $17 subscription is super valuable because some of these fragrances cost over $150 and some are even $300 to $500.
Hey, you're saying I stink?
Yes.
Do you like it though?
I do.
Summer's over and the must is gone. So if you want to check out Scentbird, hit that link in the description or scan the QR code and use the promo code CorridorCrew for 55% off your first month. That's only $8 a month. Thanks to Scentbird for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the react.
So I got a little obscure clip for you guys. Like, this movie is buried in my memory. Somebody mentioned it in a comment and I was just like, I don't know, it just stood out to me. Check this out. This is pretty neat.
Ooh, robots. Classic.
I mean, the vibe's great. This stuff looks really good. I mean, they almost look like they're practical models at times.
It's that stuttery animation on them. It gives them like a sense of realism because we're familiar with mechanical stuff like having weight and like chatteriness. And of course, obviously, like the rendering quality is really good, but that's also relatively straightforward. Never mind, it was practical.
Oh, well, yeah, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
knew it. Yeah, called it.
See, this is the sort of thing I love. Like, it's still a lot of visual effects going on here, but the bulk of what we're actually seeing in the final thing is analog.
We always think of visual effects as like adding something, but the ability to remove something from the frame has like unlocked so many opportunities for movies. Like, you can do so many things. Everything from like the fact that wire work is a thing in stunts now to like puppetry like this.
A lot of the time, the stuff that they have to paint out is actually covering part of the robot, so they have to add back in pieces of the robot that don't actually exist, or maybe they do exist, but they're being added in CG. Like her shins here on the robot are being added back in. It's still like the majority of that robot is photoreal because it is real, so the small pieces that are CG, you already have something perfect to like match it to. As long as you get it to the point that it doesn't draw your eye, it works.
Well, it's a guessing game too. You're like, okay, well, I'm seeing these practical robot legs for 10 shots, and now suddenly we have one shot where they're not real, and you're like, I would have never known.
Yeah, this is the sort of thing that I think general audiences can really get behind because the whole idea that like CGI is a bad word now, you know, where it's like no one likes CGI, whereas the truth is that no one likes bad CGI. No one likes CGI that they notice. It's not that CGI is bad and that using the real practical robots here is better. It's that the end effort of all of this stuff ends up creating a better final thing. Like the actors are more involved, the cinematographer is, you know, more on the page of like what the final shot's gonna look like. There's a more tangible feel to it that CGI sometimes cannot nail.
Wait, there's more?
A few reacts ago, we got to watch some skydiving from Mission Impossible, and then we compared it to skydiving in Point
Oh, is this
Break.
from the beginning of the Power Rangers movie?
No.
Oh.
So, in the world of crazy cool stunts, like in Point Break, and like pretty well executed CGI, let's be real, in Mission Impossible, lies a world in the middle of crazy stunts and really not good VFX.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Wait, what?
Let her rip.
Yeah, all the close-up shots are obviously filmed on like a blue screen.
That's a good
But those
shot.
first few weren't that bad. Like, that's not that bad. That one where he, okay.
That's a crazy stunt.
Oh my God,
I wonder
that
how
was
he-
real. And then it cuts to that.
Light Rap City.
I'm getting him! Yes!
Sick. All sweet. So sweet. What a boss shot.
I know, right?
I know, it's super rad.
Unhooking your parachute and then backflipping into like the most like powerful pose. This pose.
I need maximum speed.
Maximum speed. Maximum speed. Like, seriously, is there a faster posture?
This is what I'm noticing on that shot here. It's that it's very obviously studio lighting.
Yeah.
Not only is the light not changing as the background's spinning around, it's like coming from different directions. Like he's nicely edge lit, he's lit from the front, he's got all these different highlights on him, and it's like, no, he should be lit by the sun.
You guys want to know how this movie ends? This movie is about Wesley Snipes taking down a gang of techno-terrorist skydivers.
At the IRS?
Oh, so those were the bad guys in the beginning?
I think so.
Yeah,
Wait,
baby.
was that a cut?
Yeah.
Did you see a cut?
Oh, wait a minute.
What a shot.
Dummy.
Dummy.
I love dummies.
He's doing the same move. Wait, what? So So the close-ups on Wesley Snipes and Busey are kind of rough.
Yeah, the green
The actual
screen.
the keyed scenes here, the background is like really crunched. And I don't know if that's like a processing issue, like they didn't know how to handle gamma back then, but like the gamma on the background plate, honestly the whole plate is super crushed.
Yeah, because like this is the era of having to scan film in, work with it in the computer, and then print it back onto film.
Was this before Mario Brothers?
This is like at the same time as Mario Brothers.
So this is it's like the Russians trying to land on the moon.
Exactly.
It's a competition.
Yes.
But history has told us this story and Mario won.
Yeah, so ILM was like the only company that could print digital effects back onto film. They had all the actual like optical printers. And in the early 90s, finally other companies were starting to get into that game, but they hadn't quite fully cracked what happens to colors when you take it from a piece of film into a computer. It doesn't look the same. You can't just scan it in with a regular RGB color values. It doesn't quite look right. And then you work on it in the computer once you make it look correct. You try to print that back onto film, but it doesn't look like it did on your computer screen. What the heck? So there's this whole color science step that like required, experts and scientists to like go in and figure it out. And if you didn't quite get it 100% right, it looks kind of like this. What's crazy to me is there's a real guy
It's crazy.
that
This is crazy.
tackled a dummy through a glass window without any wires. And he just had a parachute. And he did this for real. It's like, oh, that's so rad.
Hey, normally we tell you to subscribe. Moving on. So I wanted to look at some of the effects from the movie Arrival. Back in the day before Denis Villeneuve got all sandy, he was making alien movies. What I found really impressive about this movie was the subtlety of it all. So let's just take a look. What an epic shot to begin on with the clouds coming down over the hill like that.
Was that actually captured?
That's real plate photography here. Like those clouds doing that is actually real.
That's so cool. That's like my favorite natural effect. Earth's coolest practical effect.
Clouds that go down. But like there's this whole encampment here, right? Of like these military tents and these helicopters and satellite dishes. So what do you think of all that stuff is real versus digital?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that the alien spaceship is probably digital. And the camp probably is as well, in its entirety.
Yeah, I have to say so.
Well, all the buildings are real.
Really?
Yeah. So a company called Oblique Effects actually did most of the exterior shots and landscapes, matte paintings for this movie. The buildings are all real, but the people they're dropping in and the helicopters they're dropping in. Any sort of military vehicles, there's no reason to do that for real because they're hard surface models. It's actually pretty easy these days to do tanks, helicopters, and just do all that CG.
Come on.
And then when they actually go up into the ship, gravity changes, and so that introduces a unique problem for transitioning in there. But everything we're seeing has been CG.
Wait, really? The character models are all CG?
Yeah. So this is a fully CG shot here.
That's crazy.
What they did was they filmed with these helmets around their head that are lighting up their faces. The only thing real that we're seeing here is just the faces, but those faces are inside of the CG render of the whole hazmat suit on top of it. Why does this work so dang well? Really unique directional lighting. I found this to be really interesting. So they actually did a wire stunt where they get pulled backwards, but look at that. Did you notice it? Yes, they're on a blue screen, but the thing that they're actually directly in front of is another giant white screen. And that gives them natural, realistic light wrap. And it's a relatively easy effect to do in post, but when you can actually nail it optically, it looks pretty good.
I mean, when you do it in post, I think it looks like total booty.
The thing is, you can't just light wrap everything, which people will do if they want to blend stuff. It's like, oh, it's not quite blending. Well, it's just light wrap everything, but only the really bright stuff should have any sort of wrap. And that wrap is really happening on the lens side of the camera. It's not happening in real life.
I've never done it. I have never just intentionally turned on a giant light behind someone with the intention of cutting them out later. Yeah, all around, just everything's great.
Man, Denis has just like been doing hit after hit. He did this, then he did Blade Runner, then he did Dune, now he's doing Dune 2.
Hey, Denis, if you see this episode, do you want to join us on the couch for a Director's React? It would be quite an honor.
I will travel where no man has dared to go.
So there's a movie that came out called The Black Hole in 1979, and for a lot of people, this was the thing after Star Wars that was like the big sci-fi film. This is a Disney movie. When David Goyer was on the show, he mentioned he was a big fan of this movie, so I wanted to do some research on it. We didn't end up looking at it, but there's this one shot. It's a pretty bonkers shot, and yeah, let's take a look.
Ah, that 70s aesthetic.
Huh, interesting.
Wait a minute.
My.
My.
Wow.
Wait.
That was very, very good.
Yeah, isn't that a good shot?
That was sweet. So what I think this is that we're seeing a miniature, maybe the whole set is actually vertical and the camera's pointed upwards so that this thing can like fall down. But then we're also seeing tiny people running across a bridge that are comped into this shot. And in the same shot that we see the bridge get destroyed.
Looks really good.
Yeah, but it's funny, when the thing hits the bridge, you can see the matte line.
Oh, you're right. What the heck?
Now this shot is crazy. I don't know how they did that shot. Do you think they used the prism for this shot?
Nah, I think this is another comp shot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is a comp shot. I don't think it's rear projection. I feel like they probably used the prism. People are probably wondering, what the heck are you talking about, this prism? So Disney invented this way of filming. So instead of a green screen, it was like an orange screen. It was a very specific band of light frequency that they would light with like sodium vapor. And they had a prism that would split off just that one frequency of light, and all the rest of the light would go to the other direction. So they'd expose one piece of film with just the sodium vapor light, then another piece of film with all the rest of the light. And basically they got a live alpha channel, a perfect green screen.
But did they ever actually use it after Mary Poppins?
Yes, all the time.
Really? I mean, how many other movies did they use it on?
The process was used in the 1970s for scenes in Island at the Top of the World, The Apple Dumpling Gang, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Freaky Friday, Escape to Witch Mountain, Pete's Dragon, and The Black Hole.
They used the prism.
It's just crazy to me that you don't have any color limitations. You can wear green, you can wear blue. You have semi-transparent lace like they did in Mary Poppins, which is mind-blowing.
Yeah. There's no information out there on this. I would love to get in contact with whoever has this prism still, just so we can take a look at it. Like, this is part of film history, and Disney's got it in the vaults.
Some say Walt Disney's soul is trapped inside it. It's a soul gem. It's specifically a soul gem. That'll be it, though. That'll be the final episode of this show, by the way.
It's like you tell your kids.
Is VFX artists react to Disney's sacred prism, and it just starts going, oh.
We gotta find that prism, man.
We gotta find the prism.
We gotta find that prism.
Help us find the prism.
Leave a comment
Please.
as to where we can find the prism. You know, just help get us started.
Yeah, where do you think it is? Maps, if you got them, let us know.
Or, you know, you could also tell us your favorite prism visual effects shot. We
Oh.
could react to them in the prism episode when it inevitably gets filmed.
Actually, that's a great idea. Let us know. What's your favorite prism shot?
You know, we try to talk about visual effects, but every once in a while we go off the rails a little bit and get a little spicy, get a little goofy, get a little unhinged. If you want to check it out, go to corridordigital.com. That's where we do the extended episodes.
I guess we gotta call them the unhinged versions now.
Unhinged.